The decision not to put Mike Vick back in, what factored into that?
Mike's got a hamstring. He just really wasn't 100%. So I said since really I think the day we walked in here that you got to have two quarterbacks, and so felt confident in Nick. We might not be 100%. So if Nick were to go down, I think we would have been able to put Mike back in the game.
Why'd you put him in for the one play after the injury?
He didn't look like he was moving well. When we just weren't like a play running harm's way. So just felt like he didn't have that step where he got out of the way. You got a pass rush that they have. We got some really good players over there with Falcon, Cuban, and JPT. I don't think you want to get out of those.
So that was your decision to take him
out?
Yeah,
that was my decision.
Had he convinced you that he was all right to go
we
back?
We didn't really have any talks about that. I just talked to our trainers and those guys, and they said it was just a hamstring. They thought he was going to be okay.
Did you alter the game plan when you brought Nick in?
No, we didn't.
Less read option or anything like that? Because it looked like Mike was really running the read option very well in the first half.
Now, a couple of those long runs Mike had were actually designed sweep plays, so it wasn't read option, but we didn't change our game plan in terms of putting Nick in the games.
What do you think of the job Nick did?
I thought Nick did a nice job. He come in, especially, I thought that drive right at the end of the first half, we had an opportunity to get on and get a field goal. We had a 2-minute situation. Really managed the game real well, and I was really happy with it.
Just what has Nick done over the weeks here to stay sharp, practice time, classroom time?
The same. He's a student of the game. He prepares himself like he is a starter because he's literally a chin strap away from being a starter. And I think that's a credit to him. Some guys can get discouraged, but he wasn't like that when I sat down with him and Mike and we told him what was going on in camp. He just said, "Hey, coach, you can always count on me. I'm going to be there," and that's what he's done. He's been there every day in practice. I think Billy Laser does a really good job with those guys, making sure that they're sharp and getting them enough reps. In this league, I think you need two quarterbacks. We were fortunate that we had Nick for us.
How far can you go into the next week, with not knowing exactly who's going to be the quarterback for Sunday in terms of
our game plan
Mike's
doesn't
injury?
drastically change, Jeff. So we'll see how that goes, but that's not a huge concern for me.
You said Mike could have gone back in if Nick got hurt. So can we just assume that he should be able to practice Tuesday?
You can assume whatever you want to assume.
No, if he was able to go back in today,
I don't assume that.
Do you expect that he should be?
I don't get into that. They've always been like that. So I'll find out when they don't get here Tuesday. If they tell me he's practicing, he's practicing. I'm not the trainer, so I don't tell those guys, "Hey, we need him by this," and just tell me if he can go, if he can't go.
If Mike's healthy, is he your guy?
What's that?
If Mike is healthy, is he
yes.
Your game plan might not have changed, but it sure looked like your offense did. Did they not have to respect the run as much with Mike out of there? I mean, it looked like you couldn't get anything wrong with Deshaun in the second half.
I don't know. That's a good question. You can ask them. I don't know what they were respecting or not respecting.
It looked to you like different things were working in the second half than were in the first?
They literally deployed the same game plan and deployed their defense really the same way they did in the first half. They had a lot of man-free coverage and 6 guys in the box. That didn't change from that standpoint. But not having a running threat doesn't mean that we're not blocking the free technique. I think sometimes they did some line stunts and some penetration things and they would stop some of our drives in the second half. But I don't think it was because of Nick or Mike.
You're able to get Deshaun back in the offense. Can you talk about the importance of having him get down the field and exploit?
Yeah, if you're going to play man coverage, we need to have guys that can exploit it. I thought some of those guys did a real good job. We hit Brent on a big crossing route early, freed up Brent on the play action pass, and then obviously Deshaun is, if you're going to put him in those situations, he drew a pass interference penalty on our sideline, which was big, and then trying to get him uncovered in a couple of different manners he's a threat, no matter where he is. And if you're going to play man coverage, it's just going to happen a little bit quicker. And I thought he did a really good job of, giving himself an opportunity to make plays. We had some good run after the catch from him, and then we also had that big touchdown at the end off the double moves.
Can you talk a little bit about what you got from Alex Henry today?
Yeah, I got a lot of confidence in Alex. I think he was 5 for 5. Is that right? In my math right? So, he's been really, really consistent. I think myself and him were probably the most surprised with those 3 misses that we had this year. But we looked at him and studied him, and him and Coach Fitt were back to work a little bit. Really confident. Obviously, I don't want to get 3s, but we don't want to get 3s. We'd rather get 7s. But if you got a guy who's consistent like that, and you go 5 for 5, and put those points on the board, it's really a difference in ball games.
He made a couple of completed passes where he threw the ball quickly against man, maybe even before the receiver was open, and kind of timed anticipation throws. Has those been his strength? Did you see that a lot in training camp? Did you feel like
I just think Nick's got a good grasp and has a good understanding of what we're doing.
Is there anything they can do to win that job, or can Pauls win this job at any time this season?
Yeah, I mean, we're always going to compete and play and make sure that the best guys are on the field. So.
How do you feel like the defense did, especially in the second half after John?
I thought they did a great job of getting the ball back for us. You know, we had those 3 big turnovers. I think when you play against those 2 receivers and obviously Eli, Super Bowl winning quarterback, that's the strength of your team right now. We're banged up a little bit up front. David Wilson wasn't in there, so you kind of knew they were going to throw him. There was a matchup that we really had to make sure that we concentrated on, and I thought our guys eventually we started to get to Eli a little bit, started to generate a pass rush and those 3 turnovers for people. And the difference in the ball game is those turnovers. We didn't turn it over, and they did. So.
What was the message to the guys after?
In settling for those 5 field goals, what were the issues on those third downs?
Specifically, I'd have to go through each one.
What did you say to the team after the locker?
After the game?
Yeah.
They had a good week of preparation, and we need to have another one because we've got another game coming up. Every week is a season, and that's what this deal is all about. You're 5 games into a 16-game season, and understand that you just don't show up and win. When you have a good week of preparation, then that pays off for you. And I think we liked our week of preparation, so we got to be able to replicate that because you get about 2 seconds to catch your breath in this league and go back and get ready to play again.
Chip, in 3 out of 5 games now, even if it was just a play or 2 or for longer, Michael's had to come out of the game. Is the reason you have to keep Nick as ready as you are that you sense a certain inevitability to Michael not being able to bounce back from one of these?
No, I mean, I think no matter where you are in this league, you better make sure you have 2 quarterbacks. That's just the nature of this league. So, we're fortunate that we do. So.
Do you think 2 more guys?
Do you think the league needs to do more to protect their quarterback?
No, I don't. I mean, he had a hamstring today, so he was running out of bounds. It wasn't a hit, so I don't think anything in terms of what happened specifically to Mike today had anything to do with someone hitting him late or. I think the league has done a really good job of implementing rules to protect quarterbacks, and that was certainly not the issue today. There were no big hits. There was nothing from that standpoint with that. It was just a soft tissue injury, and we'll see where he is when we get back to work on it.
Would you say that after Nick's performance today, that their job is more up for grabs if Michael... Okay, thanks guys.